one thing in life I love, and that's sweets. I used to not like sweets as much as I do now, and here's the problem. I've lost about 80 pounds over the years. No, this is not a motivational video about how I lost weight. This is me talking about I love small sweets now, and it's hard because in this move, we're staying with my mother-in-law, and she keeps bite-sized Twix and Snickers around. If there's one thing I love a good Snickers or Twix bar, right? However, fun size, it's pretty hard to resist, which brings me to the Manhattan Project chain reaction. Look, you can almost like palm this thing and produce it in some sort of magic trick. It's so bite-sized. However, a bite-sized, fun-sized Twix or a fun-sized Snickers contains all of the greatness and deliciousness of a Twix or a Snickers in a fun, bite-sized piece. Does chain reaction do that? Let's take a look inside of this fun-sized box and see, does chain reaction live up to the not fun size? I don't think that's what it's called, but let's take a look right now. Disclosure warning. I should say that I have not played the original Manhattan Project. I've only played the Energy Empire Manhattan Project, which is a phenomenal game, and I reviewed it here for the Dice Tower a few months back. It is an incredible engine building game, so just know that going in. That's where I'm coming from for my basis of comparison. First of all, what is it I love about Energy Empire that is tied to this game that you feel like you can make this comparison? Well, here's the reason I love Energy Empire, and it is two words: engine building. Energy Empire was, I think it's rated one of the best engine building games of 2016. This has a taste of that. And like I say, I haven't played the original Manhattan Project, so forgive me there, but there's a feeling of that. And this game also features one of my favorite mechanics in any game, and that's multi-use cards. And you'll notice your hand down here. Let's explain the setup first. But this is your hand of 5 cards. This is the solo setup, or technically I guess 5-person setup. You place 5 bomb cards out here. These are how to build bombs and get points. These are points. The objective in a single player game, by the way, is to go through the deck one time and get an amount of points at the end. Landmark cards are up here. These are kind of always usable places. You've got things like a sinkhole, landmark, university, enrichment plant, all these different things right here. And that's what these are. Does that not say sinkhole? Wow, I can't read from this angle. That's a mine. Some words right there. Up here are bomb loaded cards. These are basically additional points you can add to a bomb card once you've bought or built the bomb card. These are extra bomb cards, so when you buy one, you replace them out there. Resources over here, you got yellow cake and uranium. Fascinating, because you're building a bomb. You need those two things, right? That's your resources. They break up in 1s, 3s and 2s, and then 5s and 3s. They're also 2-sided, so I do like that. And you can make change at any time. That's the components of the game other than the deck of cards over here with different cards. Here's how this whole multi-use card scheme works. So this is the basic setup for a solo player game because I really like the way it plays solo. Cards can be used in multiple ways, so let's talk about that right now before we get into the rest of the setup. You can either use it for the building or for the laborers. Now, or for the workers. These are laborers, these are engineers, and these are scientists. All of them have different roles and they count for different costs. And here's what I mean by that. Up here on the bottom of the card tells the cost, up here on the top of the card is the cost to use the building as a building. So the way you would do that, let's just say you played this card, right, as workers. Well, you turn it sideways and play it as workers. Well, then now you're producing 2 workers. This means you can play this on top because this takes 2 workers to build it, which means you get to draw 2 cards. It actually says you can take 2 cards from the discard pile, put them into your hand. And then you just keep rolling from there. Well, since you can't do anything further from that, your chain reaction kind of stops. But let's just say you would have played this one instead. Let's say you have a worker here, and then you play the engineer there. So now you've got 3 engineers out there. So now you play this mine. It gives you 5 yellow cake as a resource. You could spend that yellow cake if something took a yellow cake, but the only thing that takes yellow cake would be by itself is nothing. Nothing takes yellow cake, so your turn is effectively over. Scoop these and go again. Next turn, the only thing you keep is your cake resource or your uranium resource. Everything else gets scooped and you play it again like a deck builder. In a solo game, your goal is to try to get as many bomb cards and many points as you can by going through the deck one time. And then you have 5 new cards and your next turn begins. So this turn, let's say, okay, well, we need a uranium to get some of these other cards out here. So this one, you actually need 4 uranium. And how do you do that? How do you get more uranium? Well, the ways to do it is the uranium enrichment plant up there, or continuing to get really good uranium right here. But you would need 2 scientists to build this plant. So let's start easy, right? So let's build this as a scientist, right? Well, this takes 1 scientist and a yellow cake. So then you play this on here and make change for yellow cake. So this becomes 4 for your yellow cake. The cool thing is these are double-sided for uranium and stuff. You now get the output of 1 uranium. So then this goes down here to your supply. Can you go further? Well, let's see. We have a cost of 3 workers up here and a cost of 2 scientists up here. The only one we could play would be this card here. Well, actually, we could play both of these cards, but you may want to play this one to be able to pull these 2 cards out of the discard pile and hopefully get 2 scientists. You don't have any more yellow cake now, but it would be worth trying it'd be worth trying to get these yellow cake for later. So this takes 3 workers to do. So then you would drop. So there's 2 and 1, because these can be any kind of workers. Boom, now you get 3 yellow cake. Turn goes again to your next hand, and you just keep moving from there, and that's it. You just keep dealing down. Now let's just say, how do you get these cards? So let's assume you get 4 uranium into your hand, right, for your resources. And then you deal out a hand like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You deal out a hand that looks kind of like this. So now you need a worker and a scientist. This one requires a worker. This one requires those guys are called engineers. I keep calling them workers, but here we go. Let's say you have this in your hand. So now you would spend that to get the scientist, that to get the engineer, and then you'd spend your 4 uranium. Boom, there you go. You've got a bomb card. This doesn't replenish till the end of your turn. So now you've got a bomb card. But look up here. These bomb cards can have a bomb loaded applied to them if you have the right amount of workers. We just so happen to have in our hand 2 scientists and 2 engineers. So we drop these down, take this. So now this bomb is loaded worth 7 points as opposed to 5. And play keeps going and going and going, rinsing and repeating. Chain reacting, engine building in one hand. It's like a deck builder meets an engine builder in one turn. And that's actually what makes it a really exciting game, is that it makes that seemingly slow engine building that happens go really quick, but you don't feel like you're rushed. And that's what I do like about it. So that's how you play Energy Empire. That's how you play Chain Reaction.
So what's the point? What do I think about this game? I like it. I do, because I like the bigger box versions, and this is the fun size version. At the beginning of the game, of the review, I said my criteria would be, does this give you the same feel as the big Snickers versus the fun size? And I think it does. Obviously, you're not getting an entire Snicker. You're getting a fun size version of a Snicker. And that's what Manhattan Project Chain Reaction is all about. You're not hearing a lot about this game, unfortunately, but it is a great card game. It fits in your backpack. It fits in your book bag. You can carry it with you. If you drive a train to work, you can't really play it on the train because it takes a lot of room, but you can carry it with you anywhere you go. If you're sitting at lunch, if you're in college, you can play it at at lunch or anything like that. You play in class. Like I learned magic tricks in the back of class and failed accounting, interesting fact. But you could do that if you wanted to. Here's the thing. This game gives you that same bite-sized experience of the full version. Is it as good as the full version? Well, no, it's a different thing. It's a different thing altogether comparing them. But it does provide a lot of the elements of this engine building that the Manhattan Project games are known for. And I think it does it really well. I mean, there's a lot of thought that's gone into this. Obviously, having resources on cards that you spend. It's not a deck builder. It has the feel of a deck builder in gameplay, in the sense that you have this deck that you're drawing from, and then at the end of it, you discard cards, but you're not losing your resources. You can pocket these resources and save them for another turn to spend them. So should you get Chain Reaction? Well, yeah, it's cheap is the first thing. I mean, I can't say no to a game that's cheap like this. This is definitely, price alone makes it worth picking up. I mean, Minion Games has got a lot of great games out there that fly under the radar. I'm going to talk about another one pretty soon that just flies on the radar, but it's a great game. But this one, it fits in that Manhattan Project universe. It's all about chain reactions, and it's a cool puzzle for your brain, because you have to go, okay, I can play this card now, but wait a minute, if I hold on a second, I can play it sideways and then use its workers and then get these input and output and all this stuff, and I can get 10 points on this turn instead of getting just 4 or whatever. Obviously, you're not going to get that many, but my point is this: it works your brain in a way to where you you have to think about your engine that you're building. You have to think about what you're doing each turn. And so it's micro engine building, micro machines. Remember micro machines? Those things were cute. They're adorable and they really hurt on your feet, as we saw in Home Alone, right? But here's the thing about this. Each turn is a miniature micro engine building game simulation. That's exactly what it is. You're building your engine each turn and seeing how well it can run each turn with a little bit of carryover. So that's what's beautiful about the Manhattan Project chain reaction. It really is all about chain reactions, because you can chain out your cards if you play them in the right order to get you a lot of points each turn. So I recommend playing chain reaction. There's also a little bit of take that in there. Not enough take that to where you go, oh, I hate take that, I don't want to play it. There's just enough take that to where you feel comfortable playing this game and knowing there's some competitiveness, but you're also kind of playing your own game while competing for the same goals. So go check it out today. It's a really fun game. I like it. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep it in the collection, and I know that Carla's going to like it as well, because she really likes Energy Empire and she loves, that feel and the engine building. So she likes to build engines, not literally, but whatever. So that's it for Chain Reaction from Minion Games. Make sure to check out more at sorry, I made that part up. Make sure to check out more at The Latest Retro on Twitter. Follow us, see what we're doing on the Dice Tower and all that stuff. The new site is up at BryanDrakeShow.com. If you want to see what we do on the Magic side of things, go check that out. But until next time, we'll see ya.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.